Absolutely. Let's go to our friend on the Costa Blanca. It's time for Tales from the Top Flight. You must subscribe to this if you're not already. It's the one and only legend that is
Tales from the Top Flight.
Thank you. Chris Darwen. Chris, are you there, baby bum cakes?
Hi.
All the better for speaking to you, you lovely man. It's bitterly, bitterly cold here. Chris, what's it like on the Costas at the moment?
We've slipped into single figure digits here, mate. It's gone down to 9 degrees on the Costa Blanca.
You are kidding me. How long?
Look, I'm wearing a and everything, doing my Tim Sherwood.
Chris, unbelievable. Oh, Tim Sherwood. Well, tell you what, before we go any further, Tim Sherwood, is he going to get the QPR job?
I think he's already got it, hasn't he? I think it's a done deal. I mean, Luke could probably tell you that it was on Twitter, retweeted, liked, and then deleted. So it must be happening.
Brilliant. Oh, I love it. Chris, you lovely man. Let's talk all things Premier League. Shall we start with Chelsea-Everton?
Yeah, I mean, Antonio Conte is like a manager playing Football Manager who stumbled across a formation that works and he's going to stick to it come what may. And who can blame him? I mean, that 5-0 win had Ronald Koeman reassessing his claim that City were the best team that he's ever coached against, because they absolutely destroyed them, didn't they?
Yeah.
Got to feel sorry for Chelsea, though. International break now, so he's sent all his players off wrapped up in cotton wool. Hopefully they'll come back. You've got to feel a bit sorry for Conte that he spent all this time getting Chelsea defending properly, and now the likes of Gary Cahill are going to go and get taught to be defenders by Gareth Southgate. So it could go a little bit wrong for him. Chelsea as well, staying with Chelsea, that Michy Batshuayi, I think I pronounced it correctly. If he was prolific on the pitch as he is on social media, they would have one hell of a player on their hands. I mean, as it stands, he's another sort of Belgian that isn't as good as the other Belgians in the squad, and he's not having the best of weeks, really. So yeah, that was Chelsea-Everton. They looked quite good, didn't they?
Very good indeed. Chris, now that it would seem Conte has managed to sort out the defensive frailties, do you see a weakness in that Chelsea side that can be exploited by the likes of the other big teams?
I would be still very interested, even if they replayed the Liverpool-Chelsea game now with that same sort of with that new system. I still think the pace and movement of Liverpool would cause Chelsea a lot of problems there. I mean, we'll come on to the game in a second, but we saw what Liverpool can do against the back three when they come up against them.
OK, let's move on to Swansea City, who appear to be in absolute free fall against Manchester United.
Yeah, considering that Sterling has now slumped to its 200-year all-time low, I finally agree that Pogba is worth 89 million. I mean, Jose's plan to make him look really, really good in the side was to stick him in the team alongside Carrick, Fellaini, Jones, Rocco, Young, Rooney. I mean, if you're playing with those guys, you are supposed to stand out as being one of the better players around him. I have to admit, I was a little bit sceptical about Jose's lineup straight away, but to be fair, he absolutely took those relegation certainties to shreds, didn't he? I mean, that's really kick-started United's campaign to get themselves back in the Europa League.
Chris, it was, of course, they did the job. They got the win. It was efficient, I suppose you could say, but totally uninspiring Manchester United.
But you didn't need to be against Swansea, did you, sadly? I mean, again, a few United fans on Twitter were getting a little bit carried away with the whole Jose is back thing. You have just beaten Bob Bradley, who's an American guy who hasn't really got his head around the Premier League yet, and you were playing Swansea. If you lose that game, then seriously, Jose could have been out of a job by Christmas.
And Chris, just a thought on Mourinho seemingly up to his old tricks again, publicly calling out Smalling and Luke Shaw. What on earth is going on there?
I mean, Jose's running out of pages now. He's on about page 3 of his How to Annoy Everyone manual already. I mean, to call out the kid Luke Shaw for that is not exactly on. I mean, the guy had one of the worst leg breaks seen for a long time. And if he's felt a few problems since coming back, then I think he's perfectly within his rights to go, actually, I fancy my career a little bit more than doing a job for you, seeing that you show me absolutely no respect. So, no, Jose is, even when winning, he managed to to call out his players in public, which shows the lack of class that the guy now carries.
Okay, let's move on to Arsenal versus Spurs, Chris.
Yeah, that Conte 3-4-3 is spreading like wildfire at the moment, isn't it? Pochettino decided to switch to it, which completely confused Arsenal for the first sort of 25 minutes or so. You might have thought the Spurs would have spent all of the week working on this new tactical sort of idea, putting sort of plans and ideas into place. No, none of it. Apparently, Pochettino told them at lunchtime the day before that they were going to go 3-4-3. So it was kind of Sunday league tactics for the Sunday lunchtime kickoff, really.
Still undefeated, of course, for Spurs, but they also still can't win a game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, 1-1 was the result it was always going to be. I think the odds on that must have been absolutely in favour of the bookies from the word go. Interestingly, on BT Sport though, that almost a proper football debate broke out at half time between Ferdinand and Howard Webb. Just until the producer went, hang on a minute, lads, we keep doing this, they'll ask us to get rid of Owen and Savage. So they immediately cut to the ad break.
And good news for David Moyes, finally, he gets his first win at Sunderland, and he does it with 10 men.
He does indeed. So David Moyes is banned for the game, has to watch it from the stands, and they win. Is that a coincidence? Not entirely sure. I mean, Bournemouth absolutely battered Sunderland for the majority of the game, but Bournemouth, if you can't stop making Victor Anichebe look like an absolute beast, then you don't deserve to win. The guy looked like one of the greatest centre-forwards ever to grace a field at the weekend, which I think says more about Bournemouth's defending than his own performance. Eddie Howe's came out in the press yesterday saying that Jordan Ebe could be anything he wants to be. And I'm presuming that Eddie Howe would like him to become a winger that's actually got an end product and can show a level of consistency during a match sooner rather than later.
Interesting, though, for David Moyes, Chris, maybe the tactic for him is not to be anywhere near that touchline.
Yeah, and apparently that's got the players' vote as well. They were absolutely gutted when it was only a one-match ban, especially when they've got Hull coming up next weekend.
Brilliant. And finally, Chris, let's move on to Liverpool and their sensational 6-1 demolition of Watford.
Yeah, that was rather good, wasn't it? Adam Lallana and Jordan Henderson putting in the kind of performance that we definitely won't see from them on Friday night against Scotland. Watford shows that you really can't, even though Watford have done very well with their own three at the back formation, you can't go like that against Liverpool's side. The movement of their front three is absolutely fantastic. Jordan Henderson came out after the game stating that you don't get anything for being top in November. I mean, I know it's been a long time since Liverpool have been top of the table, but we understand how it works. We don't need him to tell us how it works.
Exactly. Chris, you lovely man, thank you so much. And Tales from the Top Flight will be back next week. And once again, if you're not subscribing to Tales from the Top Flight, you have to do so. It's brilliant. Chris, we love you, baby.
Cheers, guys. Speak to you later.
Chris, just very quickly, how much colder does it need to get before you actually go indoors?
Oh, no, this is it for the winter now, mate. I said I would be on the balcony every week, and I will be on the balcony every week, come rain or shine. It probably won't be rain, because it doesn't do that over here.
Oh, we love you, brother.
See you later.
Take care, Chris. That was Tales from the Top Flight. Love Chris Darwen with
Tales from the Top Flight.